Hello everyone. Today I'm going to go over how to create a solar powered trailer battery breakaway charger, or a trickle charger basically. So you know the battery that's on your trailer, that if there's a emergency breakaway event, it will lock up your trailer brakes using a battery on board. Well, usually that battery is charged up by your vehicle, but that's only if your vehicle is connected to the truck. So if your trailer's just sitting and it's not connected to the truck, it's not being charged. So like any other lead acid battery, over time it's going to go down, and you know that's not something you really want to have happen on a battery. Like any other battery, you want to keep it maintained. So I'm just going to show you how I did it. I mean, this is nothing official. I'm not the authority on anything. If you blow up your trailer, don't blame me. But basically what I do is I start with this little 7-way adapter. I mean, a 7-way trailer plug. Basically this simulates our vehicle, and it has 7 pins in it. And this particular one is a Kurt model number 5815, if the camera focuses. Come on, focus. It's not gonna focus. So anyway, but yeah, 5815 is the part number on this particular one. And basically you just loosen these screws up here, and you should be able to take this piece out right here. So once we take this piece out, all we're going to do is just wire in the connector that we would use for the solar panel. This is just a quick disconnect for the solar panel, and wire it into here. So at this point, as you can see, we have these two positive, negative. Obviously you want to double check with a meter to make sure that this is what you really believe it to be, positive. Usually when you're coming out of a powered device, this is the part that's shielded. So the shielded part would go down here, and that's covering like that. So I've already tested that. So this is indeed positive. So what I'll do now is open this piece here as seen, and basically run this through the back of this. So now this part is out. This part is the part we have to wire in. And as you can see here, I have an actual diagram of what we're looking for. So the only thing we're going to do is tie in the ground, and once we tie in our ground, then we're going to tie in our auxiliary power. The auxiliary power is what is used from the vehicle to charge the battery. So you got to double check and make sure it should be labeled which one it is. So you got to make sure that you're wiring it correctly. Of course, you use the diagram as well, but wiring it correctly is also a good idea as well. So here, unfortunately, there's 2 standards. So I think there's like the RV standard and see the SAE standard. Yeah, but they technically still line up correctly, but the colors might be off. So I just do it like that with a little notch facing down, and we're looking for ground. So that's ground right there, which is white, so we know we're on the looks like it's the same between the 2 standards here. Ground and ground is white, as you can see right here, the word white. There it goes. Yep. So we're just going to wire ground into the back of here. So we just take our screwdriver, loosen this up, and put that in there. Now, if you've seen my other videos, I like to use a little bit of grease when doing this, just because corrosion can get in there and cause problems. So I'm going to put some grease in there and then tighten it up. So this is me putting grease on it, dielectric grease. And really, it's not a bad idea to kind of clean the connectors anyway over time, which would be on this side. And just kind of don't overdo it, just kind of dab them a little bit, because again, you want to make a good connection. I mean, it's only 12 volts, so we can only do so much with 12 volts, right? You just want to make sure we get a good connection, and then from there we can move forward. So back to what we were saying, we got the white or ground here, and we're going to just plug it in, ground, and then tighten it up so we know where we're at. So we got that one there, we got the ground there. The only one next is auxiliary power, which is going to be top left here based on our diagram. So we're going to put that right there. So where the notch is here. Top left is our auxiliary. So we're going to go ahead and loosen that up. And put that in. If it can go, let's see. Might have to shake it a little bit to get it to go in. There we go. So now we can tighten it back up. So now we're just as we were seeing here on the diagram, ground and auxiliary power. Ground, auxiliary power to the left of that top piece there. Just imagine there's a line going up. So now at this point, assuming that the trailer is wired correctly, it should work. So now I'm going to open my connection there and slide this back in. You got to make sure the notch is facing correctly so it locks in. So now that it's locked down in there, just double check, make sure this little screw in the middle is tightened down with a screwdriver. And from there we can go ahead and tighten these two screws here. Alright, so once these two screws are tightened down, it shouldn't be moving in and out anymore. It should be, stay right inside of there. Then what we got to do is we got to tighten this piece down so that no water can get in here. You just tighten it down, and because it's only two wires, it's not going to be really much. So you may have to put some type of sealant in here if it won't go but so far down. So as you can see, it's tightening, but it's only going to go so far. So you really kind of need to have some sealant or something right here. But other than that, it's ready to go. So let's go plug it up. So now we're here at the trailer. This is an old solar panel I've had for a while. Found it laying in the yard. I tested it. It still works. So we're going to use this to charge our battery. And so I would, maybe suggest making sure that whatever charger you use, It's not going to overcharge the battery over time. Like, make sure that it has some sort of automatic shut off or something like that, because I don't know if there's anything that will stop that battery from being overcharged. I'm not sure. So that's just a little, disclaimer there. Make sure your solar charger can regulate itself if necessary. So here's the connector on the other end of the solar charger. And actually, I think I'll just go ahead and show you if it works or not. So here we are in the sunlight, and in the sunlight it reads 17.84 volts. Now this is negative because my connectors are reversed. So I just reverse my connectors and I'll get positive because it's a DC. But here we are in the sunlight. As you can see, it's putting out 18.7 volts. Once we connect it to the battery breakaway connector there, or the 7-way connector, and it starts charging the battery, see, now the sun's coming out, so now it's getting up to 20 volts. It's gonna drop down with a load to about 14 volts. So the panel does work, as we can see. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect it to our new connector here that we built. So basically all I got to do is connect the new cable like this. And now we have a hot plug, just as if it was a pickup truck or a car. Now we can plug that into there and we will be able to power our battery box. So again, and just double check all of your polarities here, because like I say, some of these companies, they don't do it correctly. You're supposed to, if you have power coming in, it's supposed to be positive, that's shielded, not coming out here. So this particular solar panel is technically not doing correctly when they manufactured it. So make sure that your polarities are what they really are. If it's positive here or positive here, then you need to wire this correctly to account for that. So I'm gonna, because I actually had to go ahead and rewire or swap those around so that this would do that correctly. So now we have a hot plug. We have our solar panel. So let's put our solar panel in the sunlight on top of the trailer. And now we have our connector right here. So let's plug in this, and we should see a light turn on there showing that it's charging. So again, it's a good idea to go ahead and just grease your terminals every so often so there's less of an issue. And plug it in. And so like I say, put something in there to help keep water out. And now if you look over here, you'll see the light is on. That's the charging light. It's just as if you had plugged it into a truck. So it is charging now, and as long as it sits out here in the sun, my battery box is charging. So you can see that this is just sitting here in the sun. It might be a good idea to put it somewhere where it's less likely to blow away. So I'm just going to sit it down inside of the trailer. Hopefully it doesn't blow away. And it's in the sunlight. And then I'll put my connector in a way that the water won't just run into it. Maybe put it right there, and I might cover it. Sorry for all the noise here, but planes fly over. But yeah, that's it. It's all power in my battery. So between these two trailers, I do the same thing for this one. This one here has its own solar panel. Now that one has its own solar panel, so I don't have to worry about my batteries just completely sitting out here slowly dying. It's a good idea to just go ahead and replace those batteries every so many years anyway, because like with any lead acid battery, they could over time just deteriorate to the point where they're no good in an emergency, even though you might be keeping them on a charger. So I don't know the interval. I don't know if it's every 2 years or what, but keep an eye on that, because if these trailers disconnect from a truck, and there could be a fatality involved, that the trailer's rolling down the hill and it's disconnected and the brakes didn't lock up. So make sure that you do have a good battery and your brakes are working properly. So other than that, that's pretty much it for now. Any questions, let me know.